Maggie, you were entertained. You were regaling me with a tale of your sauce passion.
So in front of me now, Adam stares, and I have my ritualistic McDonald's order with my nugs.
I had no idea that was going to be such a regular thing. I had no idea you were going to do that.
I didn't either, but now that I don't leave my house unless I'm coming here, it's like, all right.
I'm getting treats. I'm shoving treats. Shoving treats in this head.
Like a cat. I deserve treats.
Yeah.
So it's my treat. But I was telling Adam that I love sauces.
You do.
Sauces of all types.
Yeah.
Here just now, with the nuggets, you have your buffalo sauces, you have your honey mustard sauces, you have ranch, you have sriracha,
And you take sauces in whatever form they come.
In whatever form they come, I will enjoy them. But that extends to basically every single food group that I can think of.
Well, I was going to mention earlier because you did this setup, and unfortunately the audience will never hear it in its pure form.
It's
so I have to
just for
you did this setup that was like the naked noodle,
noodle, and the infinite number of sauces.
That's right.
Yes.
So, since you rendered this let's say fascination with a mildly sexual context. I know you did.
Yeah.
So I think it stands to wit. Have you seen 9.5 Weeks? Have you ever seen that movie?
No.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay. It's a Kim Basinger, Mickey Rourke movie.
Okay.
From like pretty early 90s. And it's one of those like, let's have sex in a bunch of different ways movies, like a erotic thriller type movie.
Oh, fun.
But I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, the famous thing is the use of food. The use of food is featured in this, and I want to—is that a place where sauces make debut for you, or have you not considered it? Your face says
I will never count something out.
Yeah. Okay.
So
open to it. Open to it.
But, I mean, chocolate sauce.
But
who among us hasn't?
I have not.
Really?
No. Yeah. You need
Whipped
to know
cream?
that. Well, whipped cream is such an easy thing to get on and off.
Yeah.
Chocolate is a decision about how your bed's going to be.
That's true. Yeah. I guess I haven't taken that dive.
Right.
But I would. I love sauce.
Okay, but honestly, and I mean, so you're in a committed relationship. That's great.
Yes.
So if this was...
That's great.
that sounds wonderful. What a neat thing for you. So... So look, imagine your partner brings it up, okay? And like you say, sounds good.
Yeah.
Do you have to first go spread a tarp over your bed?
Probably.
And is that like, are you already like, I don't know.
They make rubber sheets.
Okay, so that's the deal. There's an expenditure.
Yeah.
I thought so too. That was when I hypothetically imagined this event. It's like, you're going to have to really prep for that. So you can't sneak it on somebody.
No, that's a plan. I think anything that you're interested in exploring in the bedroom, at least in my relationship, I think you should talk about it.
You can never sneak it in and be like, how does this go?
Right. I mean, you could.
Well, you can't sneak food in.
You can't sneak food in.
That's on the bed.
Right.
Yeah.
I've had people sneak things in, and the surprise took me out of the moment.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And
no
it's
doubt.
like I would have been on board. I just would have liked some notice.
Right, because the 90s had a bunch of moments that were done the following way. Mm-hmm. Sex was beginning.
Right.
Okay? And then... usually it's not the first time they have sex. It's usually scene 2, right? To heighten it.
Right.
Here comes candle wax. Right? Or here comes an ice cube or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So like it's the way that the transaction is done in the movie is always like the object is presented
right.
and then no words are ever said.
Right.
But it's always just sort of a proceed, like there's a proceed look,
right.
Like that feels like we were miseducated, right?
Yeah. I think it's much better to be like, so there's this fucking cool tight shit that I saw on the internet, and babe, you're the girl for me.
You want it done like a frat football boy would do it.
Yeah. Or just like, I guess that's how.
Babe, there's this cool shit.
Babe, you'll never
Babe,
fucking
set
guess.
your monster down and get prepared.
Yeah, and get ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, I think those conversations are fun. I think it's fun to talk about what you
for
want to.
sure.
It's like fun. It's like, why would you want to skip that? Like,
that's all. I mean, we're all hoping that somebody is going to bring up a conversation like that so that you get the pulse going. Like, here we go. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like you sat forward in your chair when I even brought it up. You're like, here we go. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
We're ready.
Yep.
I agree. You do. There is something about like, let's put this on the table. That's like, thank you. Let's have a discussion about that.
Yes, thank you.
I'll be leaning forward today.
Yeah.
Yes. Pour me a scotch. We'll be having a chat.
Pour me a scotch.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is I'll show you mine if you'll show me yours.
Yeah.
I think a lot of things got shown already.
A lot of things got shown.
Yeah. This is a bonus episode. Probably. I don't make the rules, so hopefully it's bonus.
You don't make the rules?
No, I don't. Who is making the rules? Yeah. Oh boy.
It's not me. It's not you. Who's running the ship?
God. What are we doing?
What are we doing? Okay. Well, here we go.
I don't make the rules, but I think it's going to be a bonus episode, which means if you're hearing this and it's the day it came out.
Congratulations.
You sexy boss.
You sexy boss.
You handsome. Handsome boss.
Yes.
Yeah.
You could have a conversation with anyone about any of your desires.
That's
and I'm
right.
sure it would go amazingly.
This is your secret sauce, and we're not asking permission. We're drizzling it on your listening body.
Yeah. No. So deal with it.
Get ready for that hot candle wax.
In
Does
your
it feel
ear.
good? We don't know.
We don't know.
That does not seem like that'd be fun.
We got some once, and they were. I mean, I wasn't. That was a thing that I was never it never.
You tried the candle wax? Yeah.
We still have it. They're like in our little drawer of our toys.
Sure.
And we tried it. It was like. It didn't.
It's the burning, right? That's the whole idea. Is the burning?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Cool. It didn't hurt.
Right.
Like I wouldn't say it hurt. Yeah.
Just didn't do it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've realized as time has gone on, I don't enjoy any act that's going to create pain. Really. I don't really like that. I don't really enjoy that. So, and even especially, I think when it's not happening to me. When it's happening to me,
Right.
I'm a little more like, well, they're not hurting me.
Right.
I don't like this, but maybe they want to do it, so fine.
Right.
But when I'm doing it to somebody else, I'm just like, no, I don't enjoy that.
I do enjoy it, but just not the candle. Yeah.
Not the candle. Fair enough.
No.
Yeah, that's maybe it's just not your right, not
just
the right
not right.
cocktail.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we got to the bottom of that.
We got to the bottom of that. I was like, I might as well say my opinion on sex candles.
Thank you.
Personal opinion.
You're now on the record for that.
No.
Also, I'd like to welcome Maggie's mother to the podcast.
Oh yeah.
That's my new bit.
Yeah.
I love this bit.
My mom listens to basically everything that I do.
Yeah. Well, she seems great. Everything I hear sounds great.
Me.
Yes.
I love
My
her.
mother, I don't even know if she knows this is a podcast.
That's
she does know your name. She remembers your name, but I don't know. I don't think she's ever going to listen to it.
Fine.
Which
good.
I'm okay with too.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Love my mother. She's wonderful. I'm okay with that. So this episode being a bonus, we decided we were going to do one for us. We're doing one for us.
Yeah.
We've put this one on the poll, and
No one wants it.
didn't want it. So guess what? You're getting it in your ear holes.
Anyways,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, I think part of it is there was no really great way to pitch this idea.
Yeah, this was one you came up with when we were just simply
We were
texting.
chatting.
Yeah,
we were just texting. Yeah. This was like over a text, an idea struck me.
Yeah.
And I was like, and you were like, oh, and I was like, yeah, let's try that. So the premise of this episode is tell me the movie experience that you think I represent. Okay, so what that means is I'm going to pick a movie, and that movie, to me, represents what it's like to know Maggie.
Dang.
Or experience Maggie. What is Maggie the experience?
Yes.
Okay?
Yes. And vis-a-vis Adam the experience.
Yes. You're going to pick the Adam experience. I'm incredibly fascinated by what you're going to say.
Really?
I really am. I'm incredibly fascinated. But first, I need everyone to know We have a jillion producers now. We have so many producers.
All of a sudden.
So we are going to thank you, but we may have teased in previous episodes that we might do a bunch of jokes. There's so many of you now that we may not. We might just say thanks, and then when jokes happen, hey, congratulations, you're a special producer. It might happen for any of you. But it might happen for none of you. Who can say? So to begin, I'd like to thank William Jewell, who, by the way, when was the last time you listened to Jewel?
Oh,
I know.
Wow, long time.
I used to hear that song, My Hands. I heard that song 1,000 times, easily.
Yeah.
Like there was a point in the very late 90s, early 2000s where that song and everything on Sugar Ray's second album was all anyone heard.
Oh my god.
Every morning. Do you know how many mornings I woke up to every morning? 10 million.
Man.
It was my Groundhog Day. I just woke up.
Great Sugar Ray.
Yeah.
Great.
Can you imagine?
Having sex, so there's no reason to think about my post-core. Great.
Can you imagine instead of just take your little hands in mine, instead of that, just every time clock strikes and. Oh, God.
Man.
Sorry, Mark McGrath. I'm sure you've made plenty of money, though, so you're fine. You're fine, Mark McGrath. Anyway, thanks, William Jewell.
Thanks, William Jewell.
Parvene Angus.
Thank you, Parvene.
That's an interesting fusion of names.
Yeah.
You know?
Angus.
Parvene. Parvene Angus.
Yeah. Very delicate and very heavy. And very...
Yeah, like sort of like a space cowboy, really. Yeah, didn't think that, but that happened. First Normality remains my favorite name so far.
Yeah. Oh man, it's so great.
First Normality, beautiful.
Man.
Flamey Sore, thank you, Flamey Sore.
Pretty great.
Liam Berkellian Burke, thank you.
Great name.
Jake Emery,
Thank you, Jake.
Fingernail Master, thank
Yes.
you. Melissa, thanks.
Thank you, Melissa.
Adam, thanks.
Thank you, Adam.
Christopher Williams.
Thank you.
Well, we really like that John Williams joke. That one's really gone on for a while. Nathan Wells, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I just think of Wells I just think of a well. That's all I think
we'll
of.
send Lassie to go find ya.
Yeah, because you're lost in your own name.
Yeah.
You're stuck in your own name.
Bork, bork.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Timothy Shivelet.
Thank you, Timothy.
That's a cool name. Shivelet?
Shivelet.
Oh, man.
Shivelet.
What if his name was like, instead of Timothy, which, hey, wonderful name, strong name. Like
Strong
it.
name, but you're about to
instead
change
of that,
it.
Yeah, but I have some notes.
I got some notes on the
Instead, what if it was Angus?
name. Angus Shivelet.
Ooh. Tell me that guy doesn't have a small militia outside of Montana.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Definitely.
All right. Please take it over from here.
Thank you, Jason Miller.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Firewalker.
Maggie loves
Near
you
and dear
so
to my
much.
Heart, love you so much.
Yeah.
Richard R. Kaminsky.
Yep.
Wonderful Mark Griffith. I kind of put a little spice on the end of
You
that.
really did.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
breathed
yeah.
that name out.
I didn't want to stop myself. I was
You
like,
really
Maggie,
didn't.
fucking go for it.
Yeah. I like the idea that somebody in your brain, one of the desk clerks was like, perhaps this is a bad idea. And the CEO comes out of the office,
Yeah.
do it.
The other Maggie,
I want this done.
Get the fuck out of here. Stephen Asarian.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much, Stephen.
Yeah, thank you.
Thomas Howard.
Beautiful.
Thank you very
Michael
much.
J. Hudson. Again, how's that firm coming?
Oh, amazing.
Need it.
Yes.
Need it.
it.
Nicholas, I'm going to stop with this one. Nicholas Fabian.
Thank you, Nicholas.
Yes, just
know.
Just the count of our dreams.
Yes.
You know, Duke of my imagination.
Yep.
Thank you so much. So let's begin.
Great.
Right at record time, really.
Record time. That was
Record
nice.
time. Plenty of time.
Yeah.
Who should go first? Do you want to hear the movie that I picked for you, or would you like to say the movie you picked for me? Which one is it?
Let's talk about the movie I picked for you.
Oh, you want to do that one first?
I
Okay.
think so.
I think so. I like that. Okay.
So
Oh, you're doing a head flop.
I
Wow.
did. I am. I picked Waking Ned Divine.
This is incredible. This
What
is an
did
incredible
you think
pick.
of this movie? I know this is what did you think of this
So
movie?
I had never seen it before.
Right.
But I did. So this is the funny thing. This thing came out while I was working at Blockbuster.
Oh, okay.
I remember it because it was a sneaky rec I used to give customers. They'd come in and be like, "Hey, like, what's a good movie nobody knows about?" I'd be like,
Right.
"Waking Ned Divine," and they would pick it and be like, "That movie was so good."
Oh,
That movie was so good. So I was kind of curious.
Right.
I knew what it was about. So my thought about it was, first of all, it was very light. It was a very light movie.
Yes.
Like very there's a lot of sort of harmless fun in it.
Yeah.
It's very sweet. The capering of it was wonderful. That the guy who Michael, I want to say, not the main guy, but not Jackie. Michael, what a face! My God, what a face!
What a face!
You can't find a face like that.
It's amazing. Yeah, I happened to stumble upon after watching it. I might have just come up in my newsfeed, but the Siskel and Ebert review of it, and they talk about that actor and everything and just all of it.
He looks like a charming version of Spy versus Spy or something. He's just got all kinds of weird angles on him.
Yep.
He's beautiful in this such a unique, strange way that's very much just his. Also, I really liked the lead who I'd only ever seen him in Braveheart.
Oh yeah,
he was the leper in Braveheart.
Yeah.
I liked him in this movie. He had such a charming sort of like, I'm just gonna do whatever I want. I kind of like that. Also, he died right after this movie got made.
Did he really?
Died right after it was released.
Man,
like same year. Died. Yeah, that was his last role. Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I guess I would say that, we should summarize the plot too.
Yeah.
So it's about a small village in Ireland, right? Like on the coast, some forgotten corner of the world. My God, it's so beautiful.
Yes, it's so beautiful.
And tranquil and tiny. And how are they doing this?
Yeah.
So like this happens in the 90s where there's a national lottery.
Right.
And this one guy in this town bought a losing lottery ticket, but a few of them bought lottery tickets, and so he figures out somebody in our town won,
right,
by some process of elimination. Him and his wife, right?
Yeah,
his wife who disapproves but also approves of the scam.
I know, it's kind of like the
She's
sneakiness
incredible.
of all the characters is something that I think
she was the best.
Yeah,
I loved her.
That was
like,
part of the whole
Jackie, what are you doing?
Adamness of it.
Yeah,
it was very like
I disapprove but I don't.
Right. Like we're doing it, but
yeah, exactly. She was very like, oh, look at you, Mr. Fancy Man. But then also like, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So almost all the characters had that thing about them.
Yes,
that
very much so. They all are winking at each other about this.
Yeah.
So it's like, again, it's sort of harmless.
Right.
I mean, there are some things that are like, wow, in it. But mostly it's like, so they figure out somebody in the village has a winning lottery ticket, and then they go through all these schemes to find out who it is because they just want to be a better friend to the person, so they'll loan them money. That's it. Just give me some money.
We'll befriend them.
And then they'll be sure to let us a little money. They think it's gonna be like a couple $100 or whatever.
Right.
It's nothing. Well, then they discover the person who won died.
Yeah,
and has the winning.
He won.
Yeah, he won. Was so shocked and he died.
Yeah.
Now everybody in this town, except for like maybe 4 people, are pretty old.
Yeah.
There's like 4 people that are like late 30s, maybe.
Right. But they're the outside. Like the young people almost have a story that almost doesn't even.
There's one child in this movie.
There's
a single child.
And like a young love couple.
Yes. They're all pretty. Like this village is dying.
Yes.
It really is.
Yes.
Yes. So anyway, they get this ticket. They basically steal it, and then they have to lie to the lottery guy to convince him that they're the deceased person, whose name is Ned Divine. And so that they can inherit the money. And they discover, by doing it such a shitty way, they won a lot more money than they thought. Like millions of dollars, pounds. And then the lottery guy has to come back and verify that he is who he said he is to this village. So they have to get the whole village in on it. The whole village has to lie to get this money. It's very good.
Yeah.
Because it's such a small town.
It's such a small town.
And so like it really is like a family, like, and not in like a, it's like family. These people are a family.
Yeah. And again, like part of the reason I picked it is because all the characters, are winky, and I feel like our relationship, or,
very much like that. Yeah.
We have a lot of insight. It's very much that. But the love,
there's real love there. Yes,
so palpable, and like the unit as a town, like. It just resonates with me the way, the
communal aspect.
Yes,
like there's things about it that are definitely like shitty small town things that are funny. Like specifically, there's a love interest story where there's a guy who just kind of wants to swoop in because who cares?
Right.
And then the woman at stake, who's I guess the hot thing in this town, right?
Right.
I guess that's the idea.
Yeah.
She kind of loves this guy, but won't be with him because he's a pig farmer.
Yeah.
Because he smells like
a pig.
pigs, right?
Yeah.
And like, it's this interesting like excuse that she has to sort of like keep him at arm's length, but not dump him.
Right.
Because she's afraid of telling him the truth.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what's at stake the whole way through this movie, it turns out. Because the best scene in the movie, I think you'll agree with this, is they have a funeral for Ned Divine.
Yeah.
And then the national lottery guy shows up in the middle of the funeral, so they have to pretend that the funeral's for the other guy, Michael, who's pretending to be Ned Divine.
Right, so he has to watch it. Oh.
Yeah, so Jackie has to make a funeral about Michael on the fly.
Yeah.
Because of that, he tells the truth about Michael.
Yeah.
Which is like he's like the best friend you could ever have.
Best friend, yeah.
And like I'd never tell him, and he just says all these incredibly genuine things that they would never say, and it matters.
Yeah.
It really matters.
Yeah.
And that's like, wow.
Yeah.
That's the best things there is in life. Like right there, we just got it.
Oh, and while he's giving the speech, he's like, and if you could say, it'd be cool to attend your own funeral to see what the people, and it's just like,
it's so casually done, but perfect.
But perfect.
Yeah.
And all the caring between the characters is just like, man, it's hard to come across a movie like that now. That is,
there is no movie like that now.
There is no movie like that.
I mean, maybe there's like Disney movies that are sort of like,
sure,
the stakes are
but
low.
even then you feel like it's almost like telling you, or it's for a certain purpose.
I think you would say that the stakes are too low if you got a script like this now.
Yeah.
You'd be like, well, they all care about each other so much. But that's kind of what makes it work, is that like, no, this is a tiny little town.
Yeah.
They all love each other.
They love each other.
Like there's one shitty person who doesn't love everybody.
and
she gets her comeuppance. Like everyone else loves each other.
Yeah.
And like, so they do have to lie to each other because that's people, and that's kind of what's fun about it.
Right.
But really, this is a loving community, and it doesn't exist in our world anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't exist in my world anymore.
Right. Right.
So I'm curious. Like, so how does this? How do I connect to Waking Ned Divine in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, I part of it is the characterization, especially like I think. Also the main character too. The main character is very much, he's going to do what he's going to do, and like you're very much that way.
Yeah.
But again, like very winky in a way that it's like you're very like self-aware, and I
think that couple is very like as a unit.
Yeah.
Is sort of like about the most amount of mischief you can tolerate in real people. Like if they were a real couple, you would probably still like them.
Right.
Because they would be knowing what they were doing.
Exactly.
I love the wife.
She's great.
Nobody ever talked about her much.
Yeah.
She's very important.
I see that was her character is part of the reason it reminds me. It's almost like little bits of every character remind me of parts of your character, but really like the heart of the movie, and how you also have such a big heart, a big swelling,
overjoying heart,
but also like we rag on each other, but it comes from such a
there's low stakes of rejection in this friendship.
Yeah. You low stakes of rejection.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
That's actually quite a compliment for just the way we've been friends these last few years.
Yeah.
Because we started being friends around the time when Cracked collapsed, and like we had never had a friendship that was like in a social circle when you think about it.
No, never.
Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
We met through a social circle, but like we don't hang out with like Mike or Abe or Cody or any of those people.
Yeah, we hang out alone.
We hang out alone. Correct. Yeah. I mean, sometimes Will joins us, or sometimes another person joins us. But like our friendship's always been independent of that. So it's kind of fun that it still has a communal feeling to it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Because I mean, we are part of a community, and they love us as well. But also,
But we're doing our own schemes. So
exactly.
am I Jackie, or are you Jackie? Which one of this is Jackie?
Man.
I know you had to pick because it's your movie.
You are probably more Michael, just because you take charge in a way that Michael takes charge.
Wait, Michael is the friend.
Oh, okay, then you're Jackie. Yes,
okay,
you're Jackie. Yes,
and you're the You're the beautiful one.
the bird.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yes, but
That's fun.
The other reason I picked it, and this one, I wonder what you think of it, is because of the love story in the background.
Yeah, tell me more about that.
Yeah, to be fair, I watched this movie. I loved this movie before I really understood it.
Yeah, I see that.
I watched it when I was younger, and the accents were so hard for me to understand.
Oh, yeah, it is a little thick sometimes.
It's thick sometimes.
Yeah.
And especially just when I was younger, I just never heard like an Irish accent before.
Like a real one.
A real one.
Yeah,
like these are,
These are probably the real McCoy, right?
Probably, yeah.
I think these are all actually Irish people.
Yes,
it feels very authentic.
Yes.
Like it feels more authentic to being Irish than to acting.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I am pretty sure they all, and they filmed in Ireland and everything.
Oh, you can't fake that here.
Yeah.
That's clearly the thing. That's what makes it so good. It has that authenticity to it.
Yes. Yeah. Well, also, and you are a very authentic person.
Thank you. That's very sweet.
So that was also a reason I picked it. It was like, this is so itself, and you are so yourself. Like, it's not, it wasn't trying to be anything else. It wasn't trying to be a blockbuster. Like, it was like, this is the movie that we are.
Yeah,
and it
take
excels
it as it is.
Yeah. And they, and I also, I think that about you.
I thank you. That really means a lot. When I was in the church, when I was wanting to be a pastor, I used to get the opposite remarks a lot.
Interesting.
Yes. Nobody ever accused me of being inauthentic.
Right.
But a lot of people would have accused me, and did, of being like kind of an asshole. And then like once they get to know me, they feel more at ease.
Interesting.
And I'm not saying they're wrong necessarily.
Right. Yeah.
But like it's nice now, maybe because I'm getting older. It's nice to not be sort of labeled with that impression.
Right. Yeah.
Like this movie nobody would have picked this movie when I was 23 as representing me.
Aw.
Yeah, really, that means a lot to me. Honestly, like that's really cool. So why the love story though?
Yeah. So, I was saying this because it took me years to realize that the reason she didn't like him was because of his smell, because he's a pig farmer,
right?
Which is really odd, but
she does though.
She does, yes. Yeah. But the like push pull, like something about that like rings true to me for you.
Oh yeah.
In relationships.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
And that was one of the major reasons along with all the other things. As soon as I remembered the love story, I was like, oh yeah, this is the one I'm picking, because it also folds that part of yourself.
I've been both of those people. Many times. Yeah. Many times.
But also like they're so like passion. I mean, like
it's very real.
It's very like real. But that pursuit, and that's I guess both ways.
Well, I mean, this is what makes the movie so charming is like I think ultimately. The smell thing is like insignificant.
Right.
Nobody cares. Like she doesn't really care either.
Yeah.
I mean, she's had sex with a guy. Come on.
Yeah.
So it's not like she didn't. She was fine with it for one night. So like, I think it's really about sparing him the truth about the son.
Right. Yeah.
Like I think she would have preferred if he was the son, the father of that child, but he isn't.
Yeah.
And so she doesn't want to lie to him, but she also doesn't want to let him go.
Right.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So ultimately the smell thing is hurting him for a reason that's not important.
Right.
So that she doesn't have to hurt him for a reason that is important.
An important reason. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a little selfish, but it's selfish in a way that we can get behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can get behind that. I also like, would that woman have slept with Ned Divine? No
No way.
Get the hell out of
Yeah,
here.
that was such a
I did not believe that,
No,
but
no.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I really like the conversations that they have individually when they have a drink.
Yes.
They're like good. They're good party conversations. Like they're not like deep.
Yeah.
Like you and I have deep chats sometimes, but like there's a surface conversation that's like actually better for a party.
Yeah.
You know?
Irish
Like-
people excel at that.
Right,
They're
right.
there's always a buoyancy, you know.
Yeah, but it's not bullshit. Like for instance,
Right,
if you go to
exactly.
an LA party, you're gonna have a conversation about work.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what it's gonna be about work, and like that's not always stupid. And sometimes it's great, but it's definitely we're all under some pressure to seem like things are good,
Right.
whether they are or they're not. Like if things aren't going good, you're not gonna say it at a party,
Right.
You
No,
know?
not at a party.
No, fuck
Wait
no.
till you get home.
Or,
Yeah.
or anywhere. I mean, you might not really tell anybody.
You're in denial.
So, but like again, in this Irish community, they don't have to pretend to be doing well
Yeah.
because they can't.
Because I can't.
That's really cool to
Yeah.
me. I love that.
There's
like,
an honesty.
there's a built-in honesty.
There's a built-in
They have to
honesty.
be.
Yeah.
You know,
I also think you're a very like honest, especially
thank you.
between us. We're very like honest with
we're
each
very
other.
honest with each
Yes,
other. Yeah, that's true.
But that rings true. And that was another reason. It's just everyone's so authentic and truthful. And everyone's like pain is they talk, you know, it's just like
This is a very high compliment. I was actually, as soon as you picked the movie, I was like, wow, there's no bad reason for this. Except unless she was like, you're like an old guy. You're like, well,
you did say that. You're like, it's because I'm old.
insecurity.
Why?
I love it. Old man insecurity. I love it. No, I didn't really think that.
No, yeah.
But that was great. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Should we thank some? Should we spread this communal love
Let's
to the
spread the communal love
to the producers?
So wait, so you were recommending that movie, but you yourself had not seen it.
I worked at Blockbuster, man. I had to have things in my pocket to send
That's
people.
fine. I mean, it was a great one. I'm glad you suggested it to people. It's great.
Another one that's going to be on a direct-to-piece theater at some point.
Oh, really?
Was A Murder of Crows. That was another movie that I used to recommend. But for those of you who listen to both these shows, you'll see that it has not aged as well. You'll find out. As I recall, our last thank you was to Nicholas Fabian. Nicholas Fabian, we can't thank you enough. I know we thanked you before, but
I'm doing it again.
You're beautiful.
Bees knees.
Norm from Cheers. I really like Norm from Cheers.
I like Norm from Cheers.
Yeah, he's got a dog that I envy a little bit. He sent me a picture of his dog, and it's almost a Spumoni Italiano. You know how I love those dogs?
Yes.
I was like, this guy,
Yep.
he's my dude. I like this
Oh,
dude.
man.
Vincent, definitely a vampire.
Vincent, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh man, Rom Lico Grady.
Yeah.
That's a
Grady.
narrative, right? That's like almost as good as Jack Reacher for a title.
Yeah. Wow, Nico Grady.
Dave Yannetti could have been
you,
part of a
Dave.
wrestling duo if you really think about it.
Absolutely.
Can't you see streamers attached to his elbows?
Davey and Eddie.
Yeah, see? And he runs down. You know, maybe Vince walks down.
There you
you go.
There you are.
Yeah. Adam Duncan, thank you.
Thank you, Adam.
Kodiatric Harper, thank you.
Thank you, Cody.
Mark, man, you butchered this. Now I'm gonna butcher it.
your turn.
Mark,
Marched.
right? Or Mark CHD? I don't know. Please send us a pronunciation
Yes.
guide that I may ignore it. Thank you. Maggie was delighted by that twist.
was.
Please continue.
Larry. Thank you so much.
Larry.
Thank you, Larry.
By the way, that's my favorite thing about Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, yeah.
People put a lot of mustard on the word Larry in that show.
Larry.
Yeah, or just like, okay, Larry. Like, it's
Yeah.
so good.
They have
He's
the
got a great name for what that show is. Anyway,
Yep.
please continue.
Thank you, Patrick Tillett.
Sure. Thanks, Pat.
Thank you so much. Christopher Zapatini.
Excellent name.
Josh Tills.
Tillis, right?
Josh Tills. James Duncan
Pfeiffer.
Pfeiffer.
Like Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh, yeah.
But like from the future.
From the future, yeah. Why instead of an I?
This Pfeiffer's got a Y that's in there just being like, how about fuck you?
Yeah,
I love
why
it.
not?
Yeah, ooh. Tony Romo, thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's actually Tromo, but from now on it's going to be Tony Romo. Jason Pittman, thanks.
Thank you, Pittman.
Kyle Sargent.
Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you, Kyle.
Addies.
Gilbert Schmidt, related to Kimmy Schmidt. Did you know that?
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
very traumatized by what
Email
happened to her.
is strong as hell. I lost.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's strong as hell.
Seen the second season.
Do you you haven't seen the second season?
No.
Dude.
Was it good?
Yeah, because the show is very obviously a Tina Fey joint, and it stays that.
Right. Yeah.
That's great. But in the second season, she's like just traumatized.
Oh,
so like it
that's
goes
interesting.
into it goes
good.
into like her trauma. She like has to deal with it.
All right.
And she's got problems.
That's what I was missing from the first season. Okay.
They went the right direction with it.
That
And
makes
like
sense.
she has to legitimately grow, not grow like sitcom grow.
Right.
But like really
Interesting.
grow. It's
That's something
good.
Liz Lemon never did on 30 Rock.
Right. It's a smarter sitcom in some ways. Also, never get enough Titus. Like that guy.
I love Titus.
He's incredible.
I love Titus.
Like all-time greatest television fart happens with Titus at the end of season 1.
Yeah.
All time. So good. Anyway, forgive me. Aleotron, thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Jessica M, thanks.
Thank you, Jessica.
Ryan Forbes.
Thank you, Ryan.
Rich man.
Right.
Millionaire, you said. I could
did.
promote him to billionaire.
Okay.
I'll throw a B on there.
Wow, welcome to the Billionaire Club.
Throwing a B right on him.
You can do whatever you want.
Grace Davis.
Grace Davis.
Beautiful.
Star of Silver Screen.
From the past. We said she was a ghost.
Yeah, she's a ghost.
Charles Lanahan.
Lanaham.
I like that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Jonathan Tran Nguyen. Thank
so
you,
much,
Jonathan. John, what a pleasure. Glad you're here. Christian Kavanaugh.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we have so many more. I can't stop here. Sean Lorenzen, thank you.
Thank you, Sean.
Noted Nuance. By the way, we did not give that one the love it deserved last time. Noted
Nuance. Wow.
Yeah, what are you starting a Hot Topic adjacent store?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow. That's also like a note anyone wishes to get on a script. Like, this is a noted amount of nuance. I'm noting the nuance that I see here.
Yeah, you know what's funny is like we're both in the season of getting notes on
I
screenplays,
know.
so that really scanned for me. I was like, yeah. When you write a screenplay, there's basically 2 great moments in your life. You finish the first draft, and you get your first round of real notes.
Yeah.
Those are good moments.
Yeah.
Everything after that is hopefully it turns out. We'll see.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, Timothy Schreiner,
Timothy Schreiner.
Ale Maker, Captain. Right? Captain from the future.
Oh.
Have you thought about that?
Most of these people might be from the future. We don't
I
know.
assume everyone from the future travels back in time to hear this show because they laugh at, look at these 2020 dopes.
Oh, yeah. They come back and be like,
They thought they were done with COVID. They haven't even heard of south of the border COVID yet, which means your genitals. You get genital COVID. Didn't even think of it.
I didn't think of it, but now I'm prepared because they came back to warn us. Okay.
Yeah. That's the problem.
That's the problem.
They know about it. They're here to laugh at us.
Here to laugh. Great.
That's a real lockdown, let me tell you. You're welcome, Maggie. Let's take a break from thanking producers and continue with our show, shall we? All right. So now I have to go. That's right.
You have to go.
So this is how I started the idea.
Yes.
I remembered this movie and like a scene from it.
Okay.
And I was like, that reminds me of Maggie. It reminds me of Maggie. So the movie I picked is Life of David Gale.
Life of David Gale.
Yeah. Now, just should we spoil the movie for everybody? Because there's kind of a twist to it, right?
I think we can spoil
It's been 17 years.
It's been 17 years, and I think it's spoilable, and you could still watch it and enjoy it.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Because I watched it for the second time and still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We're going to spoil it because the twist bears on why I picked this a little bit.
Yeah.
So this is a movie that's essentially about advocating against the death penalty.
Right.
I would say it's more about that than anything else.
Yes.
So in it, Kevin Spacey playing a condemned to death row murderer/rapist is accused of having and convicted of having murdered his friend Laura Linney, whose name is Constance in the film. And he asks to be interviewed 3 days before his execution by a reporter who's kind of known for being good at protecting her sources, even if they're not good people.
Yeah.
And that person is played by Kate Winslet, who, God, she's so good in every movie.
So good.
This is not her best performance, but she's very good.
She's still good. You still see everything that you want to see.
Oh, yeah. Several times there's like, wow, man, she brought a lot to that.
Yeah.
And essentially what happens is he sort of gives his version of the events, which, by the way, is the only version we ever get.
Right. Very Humphrey.
Humphrey.
Lolita. Humphrey.
Yeah.
You know,
Forgive me. It's been a long time since I watched that movie because I don't like it.
It's not good.
Well,
the movie's not good.
No, it's my least favorite of Kubrick's, and also I don't like it. Like it's kind of just you know. Anyway, so he gives this version of the story where we learn that he used to be a professor of philosophy. He has sex with an ex-student, a recently ex-student, who is manipulating it so that he gets accused of rape.
Right.
He didn't do it, according to his recollection. And he loses his job, and then he collapses in alcoholism, and his wife leaves him thinking that he raped her, raped this girl. And it leads to eventually a killing of Constance, and he's sort of trying to set the record straight. Now, this is where the spoilers set in. Yeah. It turns out Constance had cancer, leukemia, and they had had a sexual evening at least.
Right.
And which, by the way, I want to talk about that because that scene is incredible. So spoilers, we find out that this whole death was her voluntarily killing herself to prove that false convictions happen.
Yes.
And people get sent to death who don't deserve it.
Right.
And so
they, basically ask Kate Winslet to do this so that it could come out.
Right, exactly.
Yes,
so the whole thing is sort of to use a wrestling term, a work. You know what I mean? It's a work. Like it's a bit that's being perpetrated so that they can have a moment where they're like, you see, evil system.
Yes.
He didn't deserve to die. Right? And then the big twist is it turns out David Gale knew and was in on it and sacrificed his own life to make this point.
Right.
So that's what the movie is. It is very interesting to watch Kevin Spacey in this role now.
Yeah, but I can't remember if we texted about that. But
we should have.
Yeah.
I had a thought about that I'll come back to.
Okay, interesting. Yeah.
So, what do you think? You've never seen it before, right?
I had never seen it before.
I'm shocked by that. This feels like a movie you would have liked. Yeah.
Yes. As I was watching it, I was like, oh, I know why Adam picked this for me.
Let's hear what you think.
I guess well, part of it is Kate Winslet's character. She's very analytic in a way, but like emotionally analytic, if that makes sense.
Analytic, you mean?
Analytic, yes.
She's very analytical.
Yes.
But then but at some point that gets set aside and a really deep emotional connection to this comes.
Yeah, she has like a deep emotional connection, which the things that I am interested in, is the same way.
Oh yeah. Parallels are very obviously there.
Yes. Her investigativeness. I feel like I bring a similar vibe to many a endeavor.
Well, did you like the movie?
I did. Yeah.
And as you were watching it, did you know anything about it when you watched it?
No.
Okay, so
I pretty much guessed everything.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
And it felt good to you. This movie felt good to you.
For the most part.
Yeah.
The ending, I think. The ending, I think, would have made almost more sense if it was like, oh wait, but actually he did do all those things, because it's like most of.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Like, so
you don't buy the pitch of the movie.
I buy it, but I guess I mean, and probably it's everything's so colored by Kevin Spacey, but not really.
Oh no, it is. I agree.
By the end, I was just like. Most situations that I know in real life, besides like the death row, I think there's so many innocent people have died on death row. But like the idea of like
so you accept this? You accept this premise?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And I really liked watching it. Yeah. I guess my only takeaway was like usually when a dude is telling this type of story, this is not what the story is.
Oh no, it's a Hollywood version.
Yeah. So
the sexual politics are awful in this movie.
Yeah.
Awful.
That part is wild.
Well, that's a really important part, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the whole reason he's in this situation is because of that rape.
Right. Yeah.
Which it wasn't a rape in the logistical sense.
Right.
But like, what the hell is he doing? Having sex with this woman? What the hell is he doing?
So many unavoidable,
I mean, wait a week. Like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
Like, it was, that was hard. That was a hard buy.
Yeah, I mean, things like that. But also I was looking at it through the lens of like when this movie was made. So that I was like, it all.
I guess I found that a little challenging because and again, I have feelings about these issues.
Right.
But like, it seemed like really high level planning for a person.
Yeah.
And then like for him not to have ever asked any questions as it happened.
Yeah.
Seemed like, no.
Yeah.
That couldn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of moments like that. But I was going to say my emotional in is Kate Winslet, who is so easy to identify with that it's like a lot of those things I noticed them, but I almost didn't mind it because I was like, there's no way I'm going to be on his side. I
don't think he deserves for you to be on his side, really.
And he's also not even really asking for,
That's actually what I like about the movie, that he doesn't, he's not that self-righteous, really.
Yeah.
I liked that about it.
Yeah. He's not like, I'm completely innocent.
Right, he's not like, I'm an innocent man. Like, I don't deserve this. He's not doing that. Right, he's not whining.
Right.
It's all a plan, and I like that better than pity as a motive.
For sure, yeah. Pity would be like, I can't bring, I don't like this. And been here, done that, kind of like, it's bit. Not even.
This is not the first time we've seen this premise exact. Like, we've seen this kind of idea of a movie. Like, the thought experiment piece.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. It was like, I'm really smart.
So
Just
Kate Winslet. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh, no. That
so
was it.
Kate Winslet was your connecting point to this movie. That's fascinating to me because she's very cynical when the movie starts.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's really cynical.
Yeah.
But I think you kind of get won over by her when she mimics the murder. That moment is after that you're just like, this woman is incredible.
Yeah, wow.
Because how can you do it? It was very emotional.
Yeah.
Watching that was very upsetting.
Yeah, and that was one part I was like, was that necessary? Like,
what did it prove
logic
to
of
you?
it was like, what did that prove? But again, it's like,
I think it proved that you couldn't physically do what they saw on tape, right? But it wasn't directed well, so you don't know.
Yeah.
I agree. So you liked this overall?
I did. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to get two or things out of the way.
Wonderful. Right.
So one of them is, I think this movie's pretty close to propaganda. Pretty close.
It had that was the other thing that was like, and that was also kind of how I saw where it was going, because I was like, this has such like message beyond the story.
Absolutely. The story is kind of only there to be the message,
right.
And like, I would say most movies that are message movies, they do a narrative work and then people remember the message because people talk about it at the awards or whatever. This movie feels like an Academy Award speech. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like after the movie where someone gets up and it was like, and the death penalty. Yeah.
So I want to take that out because I think that's important for what I'm going to actually say.
Okay.
So
great.
I think it's kind of propaganda. I remember not liking the movie the first time I saw it.
Interesting.
Because of that. Since then, things have coagulated in my mind that made it less. Also, it's a little liberal preachy.
That's what,
a little liberal preachy.
Well, what do you say when it gets in the way of the story sometimes, where it's just like,
they had a conversation where like they basically were like, serial killers aren't Republicans. Or are Republicans, excuse me. And it was like, that's a really condescending point.
Come on.
I'm sure it must be true somewhere. Right. But also, like, what are we saying, man?
Yeah, and it's like, I could point to you so many people who are who have done atrocities. Like, let's not,
tell a story.
Yes.
Don't. Your politics aren't the story.
Yes.
And I would say in this movie that was not true. So I didn't like the movie for that reason. And this was one of the not the worst offenders of that. Like, I think of things like Passion of the Christ.
Oh yeah.
Or like movies. That one's
but where they like hit you over the head with the thing instead of
they assume you agree.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Is they assume you agree. agree. And the movie starts there and then gets a little more complicated as it goes on.
Right.
So here's the part that I thought of you for. I actually see you more in the relationship between David Gale and Constance than I do in Kate Winslet.
Interesting.
Because Kate Winslet is cynical and you're not.
That's true.
Like you're an idealist.
Yes. Yeah.
But like those two people are also idealists and they represent kind of a dialectic about how to do idealism.
Yes. That was the other thing I remembered making a mental note of, like the way the characters are discussing things.
Yes.
Does feel like parts of my brain working something out where it's like, well, here's the
That's exactly what I thought. You just perfectly articulated what I thought was like David Gale and Constance feel like two people in your head.
Yeah.
And they both believe the same thing.
Right.
But one of them's kind of lusty. Yeah. And kind of like, who cares?
Right.
And the other one's like a little timid. And a little too idealistic for practical reasons. Now, the thing that was, to me, the most fascinating about this is the sex scene.
Yeah.
Because it's the only time I can ever think of in a movie where there's a sex scene like that. Never seen a sex scene like that. Have you? Where like it's tears. It's tears. That sex scene. Not the rape.
Right.
The sex scene.
Yes.
You know? That is like there was such a purity, a truth in that scene. Like that I was like, that's what sex scenes should be.
Yes, absolutely.
And I thought Maggie would probably connect to this the way that I do. Yeah. Which is that like I don't need I don't hate it, but like I don't need, TNA and like the hot stuff.
Right.
It's fine. But that doesn't really make me care about a movie. That scene was the whole movie to me.
Yeah.
You know, like she finally is able to, like, it's a way they gave expression to who they are.
Yes. And it informed, so it would,
Like, and it was important because if they hadn't slept together, that plan couldn't have happened.
Right.
So like the sex in a way is actually the beginning of the plan, but it could only start there because it started from a place of honesty.
Yeah.
And that was really interesting. And also, I firmly believe this woman could never have voiced anything until that moment.
Yeah.
And it was just like pouring out of her.
Yeah.
It was pouring out of her. Like, and she would censor herself and then like not, and then uncensor herself. And like, and it was like, oh my God, man.
Yeah.
That is a lot. And he's kind of present. He's very present, but he's also like he steps back in a good way.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he's very like, you need to say everything you need to say. So go ahead. I just thought that you would connect to that, and that it would feel like probably the same way that you feel when you come to a resolution about something. You know what I mean? Like it's very cathartic.
Yes.
Does that all scan for you?
That all scans. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's also, okay, great. So I got that right. That was the part I was scared about. So, okay, good.
No. Yeah, absolutely.
So the other thing is that it's a movie that's trying to figure out how to be a narrative while being about an idea.
Yeah.
And I think that's a struggle you have as a person.
Yeah.
Is like you have ideas and they're not always narrative ideas. And so, and you don't necessarily care about that. You don't necessarily care.
Right. Yeah.
You do.
Yes.
But also you don't.
Right.
Like I would say Proposition Park. That's a movie we watched together.
Right. That's an idea.
That's all it is.
Yes.
I as a narrative, I did not like it.
Right.
But as an idea, it was like, this is really cool.
Yeah.
And it works better as an essay. And that's one of the things that as a friend I've been surprised about is like you've moved into making essays when what you started out being interested in from my vantage point was being an actress and therefore being sort of in narrative experience. And now you've transitioned into being an idea, like a propagator of ideas, you know? And I'm just sort of curious where that's going. I'm sorry, I'm still talking.
Oh, no.
That's what interests me about this movie, because I could see a movie like this coming from your brain. You know? Hopefully better than this. But like this.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does all that sit with you?
Yeah, I mean, that sounds about right.
Okay.
With the, actor versus, I especially when I was younger, I always looked up to actors who were very vocal, very earlier, or the last episode where I was talking about Audrey Hepburn. The reason that I fell in love with her was because when she was young, she delivered anti-Nazi propaganda.
Really?
Yeah, when she grew up in Austria, in occupied Austria, and she was part of a children's dance group, and so she would go to other resistant fighters' houses, and she would pass off messages to.
Did she know she was doing that?
Yes, but also she was a kid. It was like adults had her do it, but
she's a flower girl of this idea. Okay.
Yes. But also, like, for years, the reason she is so skinny is because she starved as a child, and she had a hard time keeping on weight her whole life.
Wow.
She did movies for a couple of years, but as soon as she stopped doing movies, she became a UNICEF ambassador, and did a bunch of work with children across the world. So yeah, people that I've always looked up to, I've always expected a lot from them, if that makes sense. Like, if you're gonna,
this goes hand in hand to you.
Yes, yeah. If you're
That's fascinating.
Yeah, if you are going to take up space as an artist, it's like I don't know. Like, I want.
Stand for the right thing.
Yeah, stand for the right thing. If people are going to look up to you in any sort of way, if people are going to listen to you or see you, then, that's responsibility, and you need to use that. Otherwise, at least, and again, to me, growing, I wanted to be an actress, but it also seemed so far out of the thing that I could do that was well, if I ever get the opportunity, I would never flitter it away, or I would never.
I'd make the most of it. Yeah, right. I'd capitalize on it. Yeah.
I can't even imagine that I would be given that opportunity. So if I do, I need to, utilize, or at least be a good influence, or this or that. And so, when I started getting followers, when I started becoming a thing, that just kind of came along with it. I always said that I never even thought that I would be able to, do this as a job. And so the fact that I can, and I do, and I have an audience, and
that's really cool.
Yeah.
Did you know this movie was produced by Nicolas Cage?
Really?
It's in there.
Oh my God.
Now, doesn't that make sense to you, though?
Yes.
That sort of manic,
absolutely,
that manic cause energy.
Yes. Yep.
So related to what you said, what about the Kevin Spacey of it all?
Man.
Well, can I just make one observation?
Oh, yeah.
So Kevin Spacey played the same guy a lot.
He plays this guy.
Yeah. And it's a guy with a secret.
Yeah.
That's who he plays, a guy with a secret who might be telling you the truth, or he might not. And he's a guy who at least seems like he's on a different level than you.
Right.
Now, of course, it's easy to look and say, of course.
Right.
But I also think people perform to expectation on some level.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I don't know who he always was, but I do know that people perform to expectations. That's a thing. Do you think that the fact that he's done the things that he's accused of doing changes the movie?
I mean,
or it certainly changed your experience of it, right?
It changed, but yeah. But I mean, I don't know. But he does play this character a lot. This is a Kevin Spacey type character, you know.
It wasn't novel enough to disturb you.
Not really, because I mean, thinking about all he's just played the character so many times. Really, in my brain, I can only remember him playing this character.
Yeah. I mean, he basically is this character in everything except for it's a little bit different in the show that he was in, House of Cards. House of Cards, he's less.
I don't watch it really.
It was good. At least fine.
Yeah.
House of Cards, he was a lot more maniacal, sort of gleefully so.
Right.
But he basically played Verbal Kint, some version of Verbal Kint. his whole career. Even in Seven.
Yeah.
Even the character in Seven is this guy, just with an evil secret. You know what I mean? Like that's the difference.
Yeah.
Also, his hair was so bad in this movie. Horrible. His hair was horrible.
Yeah.
So that doesn't ruin it for you.
I mean, like ruin it. Like I never saw it before, so it's like I only have this perspective, or
I guess ruin it would mean that you didn't enjoy the movie because of him.
Oh, I mean, I am usually able to like
put it aside.
Yeah.
So, but that's an interesting thing, right? Is that like here we are, two people who aspire to be opinion shapers, right? Not just have opinions, but shape others, right? And we also have this other thing, which is a history of people who have failed, who have had ideals and then lived and failed. And I think most of our heroes would be on this category on some level. So like, what do we do with that? With the ideal of be an opinion maker and live up to the ideals, and then the practical reality of, but people don't. Like, how do we deal with that tension? Is it just like we live with it? Do we, like, what if you become that person? Then what?
Oh, well, I don't plan on becoming that person.
Right. But I don't think he did either. I don't think he did. Maybe he did. I don't know, because he started pretty young, right? But some people do mess up and don't plan on it, right? Like, or am I mistaken? Are they all maniacs from the very beginning, you think?
Not maniacs, but I think people certainly have control over their decisions and their body and their I mean, people obviously make mistakes, but I mean, there's a difference between like mistakes and that,
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
But I guess so I'm not like, this is not like a planned thing. I'm just like thinking about it out loud. So like, as a country, we used to think of Donald Trump, for instance, as being the bad guy, as being the punchline to the joke. And somewhere along the line, we thought his hubris that was entertaining was actually a good idea, even though we had known before that it wasn't. Now, not all of us, obviously, but many of us. So, like, that's a thing I've been thinking about for 5 years. Like, how did that happen, right? Like, how did we as a culture come to lose that sort of obvious moral grounding? And I have to think that there's something to do with, like, affluence and success and invulnerability to harm that leads to a kind of corrosion. And I wonder, like, so, and that leads then to, well, if we ever become successful, like truly successful, how do we insulate ourselves from not becoming Kevin Spacey, but from failing to live to our ideals? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
don't know.
Well, that feels so like I can't even imagine that. You know, you
can't imagine it. You can't imagine making a mistake. Not like Kevin Spacey's, but like something that was.
No, I mean, I can't imagine having so much money that I'm insulated from myself, or that I wouldn't. Yeah, and I am a person that really, at the end of the day, answers to myself.
Right.
And I'm very hard on myself, as I explained. Like, I am very hard on myself, and I do not take things lightly, and I don't take having a platform lightly. And I don't take my successes lightly either.
So you don't think it could happen, really? Like, or you can't imagine how it could happen?
I can't put myself in a position mentally. I can't like do that mental exercise because I have never been in that position in my life.
So in some ways, the only way to entertain this hypothetical is if you had a position that was comparable. So like you could have the thought experiment make more sense to you.
If I do the thought experiment now, I would be like,
well, I'll be different.
Right. I would obviously be different. Like, this is the amount of money I would put into certified charities every month. Like, this is what I would do for my community. This is how I would do it. And like, as far as I know, I would stick to that. And I, knowing myself, I would. Like I know myself really well, and I would.
Maybe you would. I mean, I'm not here to say no, you won't. Like,
No. I know. I'm saying I don't know if that thought experiment is useful to me because I know myself too well. If that
meaning that it's not useful because you think it wouldn't happen.
I
Right?
don't understand how
it would happen. You can't see the mechanism.
Yes, I can't see the
I
mechanism.
think that's why it happens to anyone, is because they don't see the mechanism.
I don't think that's true.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I think
some people don't see it. I think a lot of people see it and
they don't care.
buy into it. Oh yeah, like that's the dream though. That is the dream.
Oh, you think a lot of people, their dream is to become exploitative and abusive?
No, they don't. I don't think they think they're being exploitative. They are being rich. And
I see.
That is inherently exploitative. That's the dream. The woman I nannied for doesn't think she's exploitative, but she exploited me for labor. Like, she doesn't think she did, but she did.
Well, but that's interesting because my question is, if you became rich, how would you not become that person?
I pay someone a living wage if I was her nanny.
You'd follow the rules.
Yeah. You follow the rules. You take care of your community with your affluence. You advocate for policies that enrich your community, not just your, just the things that I see when I'm in rich circles, the things that they don't do and they don't care about, and the things that they fill their life with are basically they fill it with stuff that.
What should they do instead?
Well, I think they should help their communities.
Well, I mean, yeah, they should. The question is, what if they don't like doing that? You know what I mean? Like, what if they don't get any joy out of it?
Then they're exploitative,
right? So, thank you, because you're putting out there a thing that I think is absolutely true, and also that like I've thought a lot about because like I think some people, it's easier to imagine not falling into that because they get pleasure out of things that are socially valued, like helping people who are in need, right? Or because some people don't, right?
Well, no, I was saying, and I don't really know if that's, I mean, sometimes it's socially valued. Actually doing the work isn't really socially valued.
Well, I think that, I don't think there's anybody, if you took a straw poll who was like, hey, is helping the unfortunate a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah,
they're going to be like, that's a bad thing.
Oh,
like,
no, yes.
Not unless they're a cartoon villain, but like, that doesn't mean they like doing it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't have like a strong thesis here. We've just run down a rabbit hole, and I'm like, oh, now I want to talk more about this.
Yeah.
But I don't want you to feel like I'm.
Oh, I'm not. I love these conversations. Yeah.
Great.
We can keep talking.
Fun. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
No. Don't.
So, okay, good. Because I just don't want it to feel like hostile or anything.
When I'm talking through something, I'm really trying to
like
give an accurate answer. Yeah.
So. I guess like let me put it this other way that makes it a little less hypothetical.
Okay.
So like I was raised under the supposition that people are flawed and therefore they decay when given over to their wants and desires. And I think there's truth to that. I don't think it's explicitly always true, but there's truth to it. I think there are people who can overcome that, and there are people who can't. Or at least I guess overcome is to say not become Kevin Spacey.
Right.
You know what I mean? Manage it on some level, and some people who can't. And we may not share that belief. That might be a belief that we differ on.
People definitely have flaws. Yeah, right. I don't think people are I mean, everyone has flaws.
Right,
but
and that's all I mean by inherently flawed.
Right,
yeah.
Yes.
I don't mean like, well, I don't really know what the other view would be. I don't mean that they're explicitly evil, all evil.
Right.
But I think that they have, we all have a tendency toward doing things that are not the right thing that we have to combat. Like we have to do some combat.
Really.
You think some people are born without the proclivity to do bad things?
You mean like
just
given the choice of a good thing or a bad thing, they would choose a bad thing?
That's too hypothetical. Like it's more like will make compromises, for instance, when the situation suits them. Will, tell a lie if it's easier to tell a lie, right? That's all I mean.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
right.
yeah,
So, like,
yeah,
we're not knights of the round table who
Right,
always
right,
do the right thing, right? That's all I mean.
Right.
But the question becomes, well, what if I never am accountable for anything? Which is, I think, what being rich is.
Oh, yeah. You don't have to deal with anything.
Right.
So you
The
can just
question
do
is,
what you want.
do
Yeah.
you decay with that situation? Because that's really...
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And so that to me is like a part of why when you have a platform, right? Because a platform doesn't really come without perks. One of the perks almost always is money. Not always, I guess.
Right.
But like, unless you're like, who has a platform consistently and doesn't have money?
Well, I mean, this is the first time I've ever been able to have consistent income in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and
yeah.
I'm not accusing you of being rich. Trust me.
No. You see my apartment.
Your apartment's wonderful, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes,
it is nice.
I understand what you're getting at.
Yes.
So, but that's the thing, right? Is like, so both of us aspire to be to be successful. Right? Like, and successful, I think, really just means being able to consistently make art in a way that finances your life.
Right.
But the truth of the matter is, to do that is a pretty high level of success. You know what I mean?
Right. But
and,
Right,
and we're doing it now, right? We're doing it now. But like, you want more, right? Like, if given the choice between this and more, you choose more, right?
I want more creative responsibility.
Yeah.
I don't need more money.
But it would come with that money.
Right.
That's the thing. It would come with that money.
Right.
Like, you wouldn't waive the salary, right? You wouldn't say, no, I just want to make the TV show, don't pay me.
Right. No.
You would accept the money.
Yes.
Right? So then at some point down the line, you have this platform and you have that wealth, because those things go together. How then do you safeguard against that thing that exists in rich people?
But I think you're taking out the individual.
Of course I am. I'm
yes.
absolutely taking that out.
Yes, I think that's the biggest part of it. It's like, knowing myself and knowing myself the way that I do, and the way that I think about things, and the way that I have thought about things my whole life. I truly don't feel like I'm in danger of that, but I've been around so many people that they just don't care, and they'll never care, and their money is the padding between them and other people.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. They get.
But see, those things, I guess I'm having a hard time seeing how both of those things can be true. I guess I can make it a little safer in this other way. I definitely fear what could happen to me, what I could become if I didn't have something in place to keep me, like, and something external to me. I don't mean something like a system of rules that I'm going to follow. No. I mean like a system of people who would exist who would relate to me for the purposes of making me have to be more transparent about how I'm doing things, including money management. Because I've been on the planet about 40 years now. Yeah. And generosity with money is not a thing I'm that good at yet.
Oh, really?
No. Oh. Definitely not.
Yeah.
No. I don't have a lot of money. But when I've had it, I'm not giving it away like I'm Santa Claus. You know what I mean?
I am.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, but that may not be your flaw, but it is one of mine. Or and there's just a series of things like that where I'm like, I think about how over time I got less grateful for my work at Cracked, for instance. That was a small platform to me. Yeah. I wasn't even passionate about that platform when I started there. But by the end, I didn't even like being there in some ways, because I'd just grown. I had grown centered on my own sort of little petty dissatisfactions, and that was my whole universe, was that. And feeling like, oh, I can't do the things I want to do, and just all this grievance stuff that grows over time unchecked. And maybe it won't do that to you.
I would say I check in on myself a lot. Yeah.
Well, then, my friend, you need not fear.
But I
You're not worried about this.
Not really. Not really at all.
No, I can't worry for you, but
right.
because
I guess what it is I have, like I said, I mean, I've nannied for and when
you think they're different than you.
I don't think they're different than me. I think their priorities are alien. Well,
that's what I mean. They're different
priorities.
Than you. That's exactly what I mean.
They are different.
They're different in the sense that they have a whole set of being and assumption that you can't overlap with, and therefore you're not susceptible to what they're susceptible to.
I can't. Because that would not be. Yeah.
Because your belief is what gave rise to that behavior is resources and stuff that you don't have. Right, resources and training.
Right.
And I think where you and I might be different is I do not believe that's why they are that way. I believe that's part of it. I believe it made it possible to become who they are. I don't believe that's why. I believe it's innate in their nature to go that direction. And
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but at some point, it becomes I think that's a little
judgy.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's totally judgy.
Yeah, because it's I'm thinking about this particular woman, there was a fork in the road in her life, where it was
she could have been this or she could have been that.
She could have been this, she could have been that, and she chose this,
And that's where, for you, it gets easier to be I'm going to say this gently.
Yeah.
To write her off, right?
In a way, it's you chose, at a certain point, you were
choice.
this, yes,
right.
yes.
Now that's fascinating, because that's what you were implying earlier about not Louis C.K., I don't know what, but him.
Yeah.
And Kevin Spacey and these people, they made a choice. There was a crossroads, and if you came to that crossroads, you would make the other choice, which it completely makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Except for I don't know that there's a choice for all those people. I think some of them decay over time. I don't know. I can't say. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
And some people might listen to this and be like, "You're crazy, Adam. You're so crazy."
Well, I think what you said
have
about
such an evil idea about people.
No. But checking with yourself, there are people who live their entire life without introspection, who live their entire life without thinking a thing about, don't have that analysis of self. And I've seen people not have that analysis of 100%. Self. And I'm sure
that's what Trump is, right?
Right. It's you do not the thing that would make you be oh, don't do that is
they don't have it.
They don't have it.
Their
it's
conscience
gone,
was
or they threw it out. This, that, or that.
I believe that over time you can kind of burn your ability to feel bad about things, right? I also don't know that everyone's born with the same kind of moral compass,
right? And a lot of it is how you grew.
It's both.
Yes,
I think a moral compass at all is actually kind of innate in us in some ways.
Everyone, yes.
But what that compass is very susceptible to training, So for instance, you can't teach a dog to have morals, you just can't do it. But something about being a human being means morals are part of it. I don't know why. So the difference between where you are and where I am is that I think it probably took a process of burning that thing down before they were able to do the things that now we know they did. So to me, the decision to the fork in the road,
right?
Oop, I have to say it again. To me, the fork in the road that your friend made, or your employer, or whatever, probably, if it is the way you're describing it, was at the end of a lot of burns on her moral signage, or at the end of a very poor upbringing, right? Like an amoral upbringing. That could also do it. But it didn't just happen. It came up. It's a consequence. Like a heart attack doesn't just happen,
right?
You know what I mean? Except for bad genes, it happens. You ate bad for 25 years, or 30 years, or whatever, and there it is.
Yeah.
I think morals are like that too, where there's kind of entropy to it if you don't maintain it. But maybe we don't agree on that entirely.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think there are people who will easily throw out their morals if it doesn't suit their immediate wants.
Right.
So it's just like, oh, that was convenient for me to not believe.
Well, it's really interesting to find what points that is possible for you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, because everybody has a place where that's possible, I think, or easier to happen. Mm-hmm. Like some people, for instance, have a problem with gambling, right? Mm-hmm. And like they probably don't have a problem with gambling because they because they were raised to be gamblers. They probably have a problem because there's something in them that's like, that thing works on me, right?
Right.
And so, not that gambling's always bad, mm-hmm. but like, they have that thing that makes them make a bad decision.
Right.
When most of us would be like, just stop now.
Right. Well, addiction is,
but all of these moral failings share the addiction to the sort of like the pleasure, need, fear cycle. Like I think that is common to a lot of those kinds of things. I picked an addiction one because it's easier.
Right.
But like it could be something that's not an addiction in the sense that we label it. I think the process is similar. Mm-hmm. I can't back this up. I'm sure somebody's going to tweet me like a psychologist study or whatever.
Right. But I also think there's a difference between falling into gambling and like choosing to treat people poorly. Like those feel...
I don't think there is. I think that... Well, I mean, of course there is. Like there's a difference. But like I think that choosing to treat people poorly is about needing to reward something in you that's broken, right? And I think that right? Because like...
Not easy because sometimes it's just easy. But that goes with the money. Like it's easy to treat people poorly because you don't need to treat them well because you are insulated from the consequence.
That's what makes it possible. Correct. That makes it possible.
And fun, because it's easy.
Well, I think fun is different, right? I don't think that people...
Well, fun's not the right word, but like that's why it is more attractive to be mean to your waiter than it is to be kind of nice if you're a rich person because you are isolated from the consequence.
See, I don't know that they think that it's more like I don't think people set out to like I'm going to abuse this waiter because it'll be fun. Like some people, I'm sure they do, right? Mm-hmm. But I think most of those people, I mean, again, we're just imagining what this person is.
Right.
I think most of those people, they abuse the waiter because they have sort of steadfastly alienated and othered them into not being a person anymore. And why do they do that? Because of some kind of broken thing that they fed the wrong way. Like that's what led to that point. It didn't just like wake up and be like, I'm going to treat waiters bad.
It's not. I don't want to come off as like a conscious decision, like, ooh, a waiter, I'm going to get him. But
right. But you know what I mean? Like nobody would if you isolated people from their circumstances and said like, here's a waiter. Is it, and ask them, do you want to treat this person bad or good? They'd be like, well, good, of course, right? Like everyone's going to say that. Nobody thinks treating them bad is good, right? Nobody's saying bad is good in this situation. They're saying, that's unfortunate. I don't care about that because I'm more interested in this other thing, right?
I think some people would treat them bad because
for the fun of it?
Yes.
To bully them?
Yes, because they are isolated from consequences. They are above, therefore... waiter is below.
And I'm sorry, I interrupted you, please.
Oh, no, fine. In this hierarchy, it is okay, permissible, will be encouraged by my peers. I will, this, that, and the other thing, mistreat the waiter.
I don't know about that. I think both things can be true. I don't think these are mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
But like... the difference between what you think and what I think about this is that your version makes it easier to think it won't happen to you than my version does. My version makes it impossible to think that it won't happen to you.
But your version, I feel like it's like it's something out of someone's control, which I think in some ways,
yeah,
it is. But I think a lot of it is in people's control.
Like they could stop if they wanted to?
If they were given the resources and someone intervened and was like, hey, like you treat people this way.
So
blah,
but they
blah,
couldn't
blah, blah.
decide to be different.
Oh, they could, yeah. They themselves could have that revelation. Someone else could step in and give them that revelation. They could have a life and death experience and just be like, and
realize. See, but that to me would still qualify as being out of their control. If someone has to step in or give resources or like,
but at the end of the day, they have to make the change.
Well, sure,
so then they would have to,
You can't like I couldn't form the right cocktail of things and inject it into my neck and be good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't believe good is just a chemical cocktail.
Right, yeah.
I believe will is a part of it. I don't know how. I can't explain all the ways it works. If I could, I wouldn't be here. But I can't. But I believe will is part of it, definitely. How much, I don't know. I'm not a person who thinks everything is foregone. Like no one has any responsibility.
Right.
But I also think that it's hard to talk about will apart from sort of a series of erosive decisions or constructive decisions. Like like everything sort of exists in a long tapering arc. And the big moments that are quote unquote decisions are also things that have been built to. You know, and so when I think of something like Kevin Spacey, who's maybe not a great example, what about James Franco?
Okay.
As an example.
Yeah.
We both agree he's probably not great, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we agree on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every anecdote I've ever heard about him suggests that he's pretty lecherous. But also like recognizably lecherous, not monstrously so.
Right.
Do we think he started that way? Do we think that when he got his first job in Hollywood, he was as lecherous as he is now?
I mean, probably.
I don't think so. I think over time, permission made it possible for him.
I think it could be either way. I think
it could be either way.
Yeah, I think he could have been, just a nice kid, and then he gets a ton of money, and again, you're shielded from consequences. But then also on top of that, he's specifically shitty to women. So it's like,
Definitely.
It's not just being shitty. It's also then a decision to, and the people who are going to suffer are women. So,
right. I've chosen a group to punish.
Right. And in a way, so did he, like with that money and fame and influence, he took what he aimed it at someone else, a different group, to hurt. So
you think he did in any that was a conscious decision?
I mean, I don't know if conscious is the right word.
In effect, that's what he did.
In effect,
right?
yeah. In effect, that's what. Yeah.
That doesn't bother me. I agree with that.
Yeah, and I think it kind of doesn't matter either way whether he was that bad and then got rich and just continued to be, because he still got worse. Like he still got more bad because he kept and it escalated.
Well, it only matters it doesn't matter insofar as how we feel about his actions. It matters as a cautionary tale. You know what I mean?
But there are so many other actors who don't do that, who had the same opportunities, who have the same influence. So,
Yeah. I mean,
so many actors
for sure.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that it's not still something to worry about. You know what I mean? Or something to consider, I guess is a better word for it.
Well, if it's 100 actors are great and one of them is James Franco,
then don't think you're going to be James Franco.
Yeah, why would you think that you would be James Franco? Yeah. And I also think a lot of people who excel in, and especially become monetarily rich, a lot of times you have to do things where, it would trick someone else's moral compass where someone else, it wouldn't.
That's probably true. But see, maybe it's because we keep using the really outlandish examples.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I want to go back to this idea. We've done about 30 minutes on this. I don't know why
I'm curious to see what other people think of this.
No idea. I don't even know if we'll keep it. Who knows? We might cut it.
Yeah, that's too.
What about the sort of general microscopic cruelty? Sort of the James Gordons of the world, Corden of the world, right?
Right.
Where it's that, by the way, that's a rumor. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or the Ellens of the world, right? That's another rumor. For all I can tell, Ellen was a nice person once upon a time, right? That's what seems like is true, right? Or was she always a monster?
I've heard she's always been a monster.
Yeah, I don't know, man. So maybe you're either Bill Cosby or you're Maggie Mae Fish. I don't know.
But I think I don't want to discredit because I think success and fame and influence, could change your entire psyche and does to many people.
I think a lot more than we think. I think it's easier to be sort of like casually cruel when you're rich than you think it is. You seem to think it is.
I mean, I think they're casually cruel all of the time.
That's what I mean. Well, that's why I'm saying, well, then shouldn't we be concerned about that if we ever become successful? Shouldn't we be like, how can we change that?
Yes. We should.
Okay. All right, because I thought you were saying, no, that wouldn't happen to me. I was like, well.
But you are self-reflecting on it. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I am self-reflecting on it. You are self-reflecting on it.
Yeah.
You know that is a thing that happens, so you would safeguard again. Just like saying, it wouldn't happen to me because I would safeguard against it. I know that money is cruel and withholding it from it's a resource and hoarding it is cruel. Like I know that because I've been on the other side of that.
So you're aware
never
of it. Right.
Be the person who, I could never be that to myself.
I mean, I'm always going to have a more hyperactive conscience than most people because that's the gift of being me.
The gift of Gans.
The gift of the Gans. And that doesn't even mean, and this is why I'm saying the next thing.
Yeah.
I also think self-awareness is not a fix. Like, I also believe self-awareness doesn't make you better.
Right.
But it is important as a step on the journey.
Right. Well, it's not just I take active steps to basically come to a Maggie. Like I said,
Forgive me if you feel like I'm saying, no, you're going to be a fuck up.
No, I don't think that at all.
This became so interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
There's no other way about this to talk that's not going in circles, but I liked it. I liked it.
I liked it too.
Most people wouldn't worry about this.
That's what I say. Well,
most people won't. I completely agree. I'm always going to be in the minority opinion on a lot of things.
Yeah.
That's okay. I don't mind that.
It's okay.
But
here's the thing. My experience living with Will is that Will worry about things that will never happen, that will never come to pass, that sometimes we'll explain something that they are worried about, and it will truly baffle me that is the thing that someone could find a way to be worried about.
I'm completely unsurprised by that. Completely
but that's why we're good balance for each other because Will will worry about things that I wouldn't think about, and I can tell Will that God, no one, you don't need to be worried about that.
Yeah.
So that for my perspective is I'm usually 100 actors are going to be great. One of them is going to be a James Franco. Most likely, you're one of the 100.
Right. So don't worry so much.
Yeah. Or here's all the reasons. Here's all the the resources you have. Here's all the people who love you, and here's all the grounding things you have. Here is all the times that you did the right thing was at enough time you have enough evidence of yourself to kind of trust yourself, to trust the people in your life.
Yeah,
that's the other thing. My best friend. I've been best friends with her since she was 3 years old. It's
that's incredible.
Yeah, that's the person who will know if I do something that is
doing
not
some bullshit.
Right. Yeah. It's that Molly would know because she's known me since she knows me as good as well as I know myself. So it's
so you feel like this is a concern you can put behind you, really.
Yeah. And if I ever, I do hope to be successful, and I
hope too for you.
I cannot wait to be able to give back to my community in a way.
I will be accepting donations from you. I'll be accepting them.
Wait.
Yeah. I'll be accepting them.
All to say, I don't want you to discredit yourself.
Well,
and not that that's part of it, but
no, you're right. No, I think it's okay. I mean, every time Abe and I have an argument on direct-to-piece theater, it always comes down to this core element of Abe thinks things are fundamentally absurd, and I don't. And so it always comes back to that.
Interesting.
So everything circles that, and then he'll say, it's because you think there's a God, and I don't. And he's right. It comes back to that.
Yeah.
A lot of our like running around morally it boils down to an innate feeling of you think you're good and I think I'm bad.
Aww.
No, but not bad
But
like
yes.
I'm all bad.
Yes,
At all.
yes.
I think I'm a great guy.
Yeah.
And I know that because of some texts that we can talk about.
And I know that because because you're a good
I know.
person.
Thank
You're
you,
my
very
friend.
sweet. But I'm okay with the feeling of that I have those kind of flaws. I'm okay with that, and I don't think I'm the only one. I think everyone has them.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, for me that's acceptable. Some people it's not. So we'll do battle on this again. I bet someday. Yeah.
This was I do
Wasn't it?
love these
I know you love it.
conversations. I do.
We had the audience doesn't know, but we had like an hour and a half political conversation once.
We did.
That I scrapped.
Yeah.
Because it was like this is just not.
Yeah.
This is too much.
Yeah.
This has been about 40 minutes after the end of the episode.
Oh, great.
So maybe you'll keep it. Maybe I'll keep it. I don't know.
Maybe.
Should I keep it? What do you think?
Sure.
You want to
I mean,
keep
this is for patrons, right? Anyways.
Right. So whatever.
Okay.
So who cares, right?
Yeah. You guys get the raw. Well, this is like a raw look at our friendship. Like these are the kinds of things that we like to talk about.
I feel like in our friendship we like to talk about like we kind of like to flirt with our church pasts, but not totally talk about it.
Yeah.
And we want to talk a little bit of, and this is related to that. We want to talk about sex. Those are like two topics that we kind of want to,
right?
But not in a lurid way. In a what does it mean way?
Yes. In a very because it's a big part of both of our lives, both
big
things.
Time.
Yeah.
Both things, big time. Yeah. I believe we have some patrons to thank.
Oh, wonderful. Sorry, guys. They were at the end. They were like waiting for us to get to it.
So they've been waiting this whole time.
Well,
I can't remember. I believe we got through Timothy Schreiner last time.
I'm sure we got through Timothy Schreiner.
Thank you, Boyd Stephen Smith Jr.
Boyd Stephen Smith Jr.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Eric Woodward.
Thank you, Eric Woodward.
Yes.
Asterisk.
Second, Eric. Thank you, Jim Avery.
Thank you, Jim.
David Maury, thank you.
Thank you, David.
Chris, hey, thanks.
Hey, thanks, Chris.
Ryan Smith, God, you're the best. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Ryan.
Daniel O'Brien, if it's really you, I cannot imagine you listen to this.
I cannot imagine.
Listen to this. If you listen to this, just fucking give me a call. Like, what do you want? Like, just, if you listen to this, just call me, man. Let's chat. Tell me how it's going. Matthew Moore.
Matthew Moore. Thank you, Matthew.
Robot Crank.
Robot Crank.
You're the best. Frankly Amish.
Thank you.
I've gamed with Frankly Amish.
Really?
I have.
Aww.
Black Ops 4.
That's fun.
It was.
What game are you playing right now?
Thank you for asking. Cyberpunk.
You're welcome. Oh, what do you think?
I've played 2 hours, so I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think it's like I did not instantly blow up.
Okay.
I think it's the ambiance is incredible. The dialogue is great. I don't know about the game yet.
Gotcha.
I'll let you know.
All right. Let me know.
I wish you and I could find a way to play stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I would hop on and chat on your stream.
You're welcome anytime.
Great.
Anytime you want.
Come on.
Yeah. How do you? You only have Switch, right? What do you have? PCs?
Yeah, I got Switch. I do have a PC though, and Steam and
PC
all
and
that.
Steam.
Yeah.
You know what Dave really wants is for me to stream Riven. Have you ever played Riven?
No.
You know what? We could do both of us play Riven stream.
All right.
Where we like do you and I both like figure out what the fuck is this? You know?
Cool.
Like,
Sounds
and if
fun.
it sucks, then we don't do it anymore. Like
Right.
we'll do like an hour, and if it sucks or whatever, we're like, all right, well, we tried it. Sorry, Dave.
That'd be fun. Sorry, Dave.
Sorry, Dave. I have a student right now named Dave. And he's a wonderful student. And I realize how much mustard I put on the word Dave.
Dave.
What do you need, Dave? Like every time I'm like, oh man, Dave's really ruined this name for him. Anyway, thank you, Frankly Amish.
Thank you, Frankly Amish.
Thank you, Etch.
Thank you, Etch.
Thank you, Glenn, Headcrash, Sugden, NPC.
Nice.
That's a hell of a name.
Hell of a name.
David Schill.
Thank you, David.
Yeah, we both looked at each other like David needs something.
David,
right? David Schill.
what a name.
What does he do?
A builder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's building what? Skyscrapers?
Yeah.
Shull and Shull.
The Shull and
The
Shull.
construction company.
Yeah. It's
Shull
two
and Shull
brothers.
Construction.
One of them died. One of them died in mysterious circumstances.
Yeah, Mavid Shull died.
Yeah.
David Mavid.
Where's the body?
Peter Jones.
Thank you, Peter Jones.
Where's the body? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
My God. Aaron Signs. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron.
Cake Meister.
Thank you, Cake
Maggie
Meister.
loves you.
I do.
Andrew
nice.
Duck.
Andrew Duck.
This is
Adam
another
loves
one
you.
I love so much. I do. I love
do.
Andrew Duck.
You do.
Jim Jam Flim Flam. Perfectly
I
placed
love
in this
Jim Jam
list.
Flim.
Todd McKenna, thank you.
Thank you, Todd.
Charles Craven.
Charles Craven.
What a hero. Matthew Clark.
Thank you, Matthew.
That just sound like your dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you've never met my dad?
I've never met any of the fish. I've never met any fish.
You need to meet my parents.
Okay, there's a song called Weird Fishes by Radiohead. I'm going to play it right before they walk through the door.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I would love to meet your family.
You should. They would love to meet you.
I bet they would.
Yeah.
My parents, I don't know if you're going to like them. We'll see. No, they're really nice.
Yeah.
They just aren't. They're going to be less exciting than you want them to be, I think.
Yeah, and my mom will be more, she will be the most excited.
I'm so excited.
My dad is very sweet, yeah.
I bet your dad likes me.
I bet too.
I have a feeling. Ben, thanks.
Thanks, Ben.
Chris, thanks.
Thanks.
Vorda Spin.
Vorda Spin.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ryan Bodish, thank you.
Thank you.
Robert Sealand.
Sealand.
Yeah, Sealand.
Reminds me of, oh man, this was, I was going to bring up Waking Ned Divine, but that was the other podcast we just recorded.
No, that was this one.
Oh my God.
It's just been an hour.
It's just been an hour.
Yeah. No, that was this one.
Yeah, Sealand just sounds like a seaside town. Okay, that's all I had to say.
You can see with an Irish accent. Yeah. No, that was this one.
Thanks.
That was amazing. Adrian Hisbrook.
Thank you, Adrian.
Patty Cakes 1, 2, 3. Thank you. You got a whole routine.
Woo.
Auden Manham.
I love that name.
That's a crazy name.
That is cool.
Yeah, that guy teleported here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the one coming back to laugh at us
On
about.
a time-traveling yacht.
Yeah. Oh,
I know. Rich guy from the future. Don't know if you like him as much. Yeah.
I mean, I've dated rich guys before.
You love dating rich guys. That's your favorite thing.
I don't know if it's my favorite thing.
I think you like to tame them.
I've dated both.
Have you tamed them?
I've tried this. We'll get into this guy one time.
I know you tried to tame him. I have no doubt in my mind.
You've ever you meet a person and you know that you are the most they've ever connected with the person,
and that's not how you feel.
That's not how. Yeah.
I've never dated somebody who the relationship really mattered. Period.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Period.
Damn.
I also haven't been a relationship. Like a real relationship in 17 years.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I've dated for 10 dates or whatever, but
yeah,
it's very hard to get close to me.
Yeah.
It's like a thorn. It's like a thorny.
It's you're like
cave.
a tower, like a princess in a tower.
Yeah. Try scaling it though.
Yep.
Try scaling it.
I know that's not what it is. you gotta scale it, and a lot of people fall along the way.
They really do. Lots of deaths. Lots of death around me. Joel Harper, thank you.
Woo! Thank you,
Zach
Joel.
Gibson, soloing into our hearts.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's basically your bit now. So
yeah,
hope you like it.
I'm not moving on from that bit.
No. Maggie can't.
I don't care, Steve.
Gareth Cooper, aka Asking Seven, you're handsome.
Thank you so much.
I know you're handsome. Don't lie to me and say you're not. Stop lying.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a liar, but
but we still like him.
Yeah.
Yog Suthoth.
Yog Suthoth.
That's an amazing name. You think that's really the name?
I don't know. Maybe.
Boy. I'm some of these names. I'm just stunned with the creativity. Or just the name. Just Benjamin Egan.
Benjamin Egan.
Yeah, you sound like his mom.
A proper boy.
Oh yeah. Where's a bow tie?
Egan. Well, isn't Egan Irish?
Yeah.
The EA thing.
It sounds Irish.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I know.
Yeah.
I've watched one Irish movie. So that's all
I watched one and.
Pie Guy. Thank you, Pie Guy.
Bye.
Gage Jennings.
Owner
of a bow and arrow, as we decided.
Many.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you. PRN, thanks.
Thanks, Pern.
Albert Sykes.
Psych.
William Cooper. You think Garrett and William need to fight for the name Cooper?
Absolutely.
Yeah, like a high noon situation?
Yeah. Come back. Only one of you can be.
Yeah, there's a Highlander situation. Yeah, totally agree. Lord
of Turtles. I need to. Can Lord of Turtles please tell me where that came from?
Yeah, please DM.
I am assuming that you are
just
Lord
tweet.
of the Turtle.
They can't DM you about this. Just tweet. Just tweet Maggie.
Tweet to me
the answer to why are you the Lord of the Turtles, and also what is your kingdom? And basically...
And can we visit?
Yeah, we'd like to visit the Turtle Kingdom. Thank you. Kyle Schroetel, man.
Schroetel.
Long-standing.
No,
what a
you're
hero.
old.
Chris Potter.
Love
you.
Polta.
Laura Billinge. This is
Laura
our elegant
Billinge.
lady.
Yes.
You love this woman.
Yes, I do.
You give her
I
real-
want to be best friends with her.
Well, and more.
Uh-huh.
You want to be naked best friends with her.
We'll keep that in Paris.
Great. I'd like to hear all about that. Harrison Halverson. Not applicable. That's my...
Amazing.
Nolan McLean.
Yeah, you lean on that. Oh no. My brain's like slipping out of my ear.
Yeah, I think we've had about 8 hours of podcasting. Daniel Christensen, probably the arch nemesis of Vincent,
Oh
right?
my God,
Kills
yes.
Vincent.
Yes, kills Vincent.
Because all we want is for you guys to fight.
Yeah, I know. We keep hitting you guys against each other. Sorry. It's fun for us.
Yeah, I mean, we have to be entertained. Care Bear.
Thanks, Care Bear.
Much love to Care Bear.
Thank you.
Carrie Lewis. Phoenix Dream.
Phoenix Dream.
Rising from the ashes
Rising
of a
from the
nightmare.
ashes.
The one that you had where you were alone.
Yes.
Yeah, this is
What
your
a
future.
nightmare. It was such a classic nightmare.
Yeah.
I was almost mad when I woke up how like textbook it was, you know?
I have a lot of dreams that involve weird machines.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I've thought about that recently. Like, why
We
do I have
should
so
talk
many
about dreams.
machines?
I have a recurring I'm drowning dream that I have about once every year. So,
Once a year?
yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
You know what I never have?
Huh.
Never have them. Sex dreams. Never have them.
Really?
Never.
Wow.
I had one last year, and I was like, wow, I had one of those.
Oh, yeah, notable.
I never have them.
Interesting.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Why do you think?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Adamantanium Jello. Thanks.
Hello.
Lauren Cucci.
Lauren Gucci.
You love that name.
I love
Yeah.
Me and Lauren and Laura.
Are in for quite a weekend.
We're in for quite a weekend.
Yeah. All I'll ask is just a recap. Just as a recap.
Oh, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
That's all I need.
Great.
Aaron Burser.
Aaron Burser.
What a hero. John Ford, Ghost Director.
Ghost Director.
Ghost of
thank you.
Dave Thomas, Human Director.
Human Director. Right.
Kingdom of Fish, your
My
Lord.
people. My people.
Jeff Mills
Jeff Mills.
and Dahlia Brown. Thank
Delia
you.
Brown. Thank you so much.
I hope you guys enjoyed the 15 minutes we spent thanking you.
Yes!
We are just that grateful.
Oh my God.
Also, look, we're not going to stop.
No.
Because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. If people complain about these name things, here's what's going to happen.
Okay,
You
tell
ready? I
me.
got a plan
Yeah.
for this.
Great.
We're going to take a random sampling. It's going to be a random sample, thank you.
A scample sampling?
A scample of sampling. I don't want to do that, though, because people deserve their thank yous.
Yes,
so
yes.
I hope you're all willing to endure it. This has been a bonus episode.
Wow.
Maybe it's been an hour and 48 minutes so far.
Sorry.
Or maybe we cut 30 minutes of us talking about good and evil. I don't know.
Yeah. It's either like you're getting it and it's like all the stuffing and trimmings,
Right.
or just know that we talked about like the core of humanity type things.
That's right. We talked about, are you evil, Maggie? Am I evil, Adam?
Yeah.
And we decided no.
No, at least for now. At least
currently.
Yeah,
Currently
at least
not evil.
currently.
Currently not evil.
Yeah.
Maggie, I love you.
You know I love you.
I know.
Oh.
And we'll have to see you and everyone else next time.
Yeah. Bye.
This has been a Small Beans endeavor. We're a bunch of pals who make podcasts, sketches, music, web series, and movies. The Beans always have new ideas percolating, so make sure to check us out at patreon.com/smallbeans. That's patreon.com/smallbeans, where you can browse all of our current and past content, see what we've got planned in the future, and learn how your support can help the small beans grow into huge, giant monster beans. If you enjoyed this content module, please like, rate, subscribe, or tell a friend about us. We love you!